What you looking at me like that for?
What, man? Come on, you just drove down here.
Moonlight. This is a story of a sensitive black guy who feels pressured by his environment to deny his sexuality. Moonlight is based off Terrell Alvin McCraney's play In Moonlight, Black Boys Look Blue. And this movie was directed by Barry Jenkins and edited by Joy Macmillan and Nat Sanders. This story is told in 3 acts. Act 1, the fragility of little. Act 2, the uncertainty / mutability of Chiron. And Act 3, the complexity / difficulty of Black.
Let your head rest in my hand. Relax. I got you, I promise. I'm not gonna let you go. Hey, man, I got you. There you go. 10 seconds. That right there? You're in the middle of the world.
Act 1 and Act 2 was edited by Nat Sanders. Nat Sanders explained his editing process as
through and so I kind of had to treat it like an improv scene and rather than kind of building it line by line, you know, just watching the dailies the first time through, just watching them for your pure kind of experience, and that's the time you're going to be the most objective experiencing the footage, and so it's important to just kind of be the eyes of the audience on that first watch through on the dailies. And then second time through, I just grabbed every moment that just kind of popped and put it all in a timeline that ended up being maybe 20 or 30 minutes long, and then just started whittling that down, just watched that 20 minutes and started taking out the things that weren't quite as compelling. And once I really whittled it down, just find a way to stitch, to get from one to the next. And then as I started putting together, I saw, the waves kept lapping over the camera every once in a while, and most of them were close to where I wanted my edit points to be.
Yeah.
So I started working with the waves and having the waves carry us from cut to cut. And sort of near the end and I started getting in that mode, so then near the end when he says, right before he sends him off swimming, he says, I think you're ready to swim. The waves were really coming over the camera, and that like maybe 15-second chunk was about 2 times longer in the footage, but I saw that through the waves going over the camera, I could cut out, these 3-second chunks of just kind of dead space and pace it up.
What the fuck you waiting on?
Do it. Come on.
Let's go. You like that, Chiron? I think you want another one.
Another one. Do it.
Get to him.
Don't you get up, bro. Stay down.
And if you get up, knock his faggot ass back down.
Chiron, stay down.
Got up.
Do it again. Do it.
Do it.
Move.
Why'd you call me?
What?
Why'd you call me?
I told you, man. Dude came in.
Yeah.
He played this song, man.
Hello, stranger. It seems so good to see you back again. How long has it been?
It seems like a mighty long time. Chibop, my baby. Ooh.
It seems like a mighty long time. Oh, I'm so glad you stopped by to say hello to me. Remember, that's the way it used to be.
Joy Macmillan edited Act 3, and she also was the editor on the movie Lemon. Why do we edit? We edit to bring the director's vision to life. We edit to influence the audience. We edit to tell a story. What a editor does. A editor assembles shots and footage using techniques that combine them into a sequence which creates a finished film. A editor crafts and structures the pacing of a film with raw footage. A editor edits to make the audience feel emotionally connected.
My initial approach to editing a scene is I watch dailies, and usually I can tell, like, I call it my anger take, and it's the take that, like, the performance is, like, on a whole other level, and so you're like, this is the one I am probably going to build the scene around. And then once I have that selected, then it's more so a process of like knowing and figuring out when to be on the right person during the scene. And you know, a lot of times what was initially written evolves into what was acted out, and then evolves into like how you actually finish the scene in the editing process.
The editor's relationship with the director is a best friend relationship. The editor hardly ever goes on set, or it is recommended that he doesn't go on set. The director sees everything that is unfolded on set, and the director gives the footage to the editor to create the story for him. The editor's relationship with the producer isn't much of a relationship because the producer is more connected with the director, and the producer keeps the production on track. But the three people that first see the movie when it's finished is the producer, the director, and the editor. Genres in film. There are multiple genres in film, but the two genres that I'm going to be talking about is romance and horror. Romance editing. Montages are used a lot in romance editing for the passing of time. And in romance movies, a lot of time needs to be passed for the characters to fall in love and also for the character to develop. And it will take too long to show the full story, therefore montages are used. Also, music is used as a transition from one point in life to a next. Romance editing, depending on the scene, it can have parallel editing, match cuts, cutaways, and more. But what defines romance editing is the usage of montages to show the passing of time, whether it be a dancing sequence or showing the character going on a lifelong journey to find his loved one or her loved one, or just showing the passing of time or growth in their relationship. Montages are used to show that. Horror film. Horror film editing. In horror film editing, it's all about the build-up. Therefore, a film can start off as a romance or family movie, but what makes it different is the neutral colors and the song choices. Sound is very important in a horror film. Every song is important, from the heart racing to the sound of the ambient sound in the house, to the creaking of the door, to a clap, like every single song in a horror film has a significance in it. Also, a variety of editing techniques are used in horror films. Example, but once the build-up of the film is set up and the scary scenes are about to happen, they are edited using a combination of silence, loud songs, and quick cuts. When creating a film, the role of the editor is primarily to edit the footage they have received and cut together appropriate footage to enable the audience to clearly understand the narrative. The editor engages the audience by the pacing of shots that they have decided to use. For example, editing can be used to create tension by slowly pacing shots that gradually build up, and in comparison, fast-pacing shots are commonly found in action movies where there is a scene involving a car chase or a fight scene. This editing technique is used alongside sound effect that complements the scene, as music can affect and influence the way the audience views a particular scene. Each genre of film has a different technique and style that are used to illustrate the genre of film. The genre of horror is commonly combine both slow and fast cuts to build up and release tension. Slow pacing shots are used to distress the audience but also to convince them to carry on watching. Low angle shots are used to create fear, as this shows the audience the character's fear and intimidation. This type of editing that creates anxiety with the viewers is closely matched by the choice of song used alongside the scene. Romance comedy is a genre that also uses song to persuade the audience into feeling and expressing certain emotion. Slow-paced shots and cuts are used to enable the audience to fully understand the emotion of certain characters. As romantic comedies are primarily based upon two main characters, the editor is responsible for controlling the actor and actress's performances, as they are able to choose the most realistic and believable shots taken.
Please don't tease me like you did before, because I still love you so. Although it seems like a mighty long time, chibop chibop, my baby, ooh. It seems like a mighty long time.